Hey guys, so I'm doing a review of the Reptilia dot mount for the Micro Series style red dots. This would be for the Aimpoint T1, T2, but it's going to work for your most of your Hollow Suns, your Sig Romeos, most of those, anything that's going to have that Aimpoint micro footprint. So it's going to fit that. I got this just because, based on a few comments that you guys have thrown out there saying, hey, the mount for the Hollow Sun is just terrible. Here it is, right? So did a little looking into what exactly some of the comments were talking about, and I realized that, yeah, they make some really valid points. So I'm going to go over why I picked this one and what kind of led me to that decision. But again, this is the Reptilia. I picked this up off Optics Planet for like $70 after a coupon code and whatnot. So I already kind of cut it here, but you'll slide that off. Pop the box open. All right, I went with the FDE color because that's fun. You got your mount, an Allen wrench, and mounting screws. That's it. That's all that comes in the box. So if you are seeing this for the first time, you pop it open. It does not come with a manual. So if you're like, hey, I think they forgot to throw the manual in. No, there is not a manual that comes with it. So when you flip it over, you look at the back, it'll actually tell you, gunsmith installation recommended, installation instructions available at their website. Just gotta fool around a little bit. When I first tried to look it up with my cell phone, it wasn't pulling it up for some reason. Then I used another cell phone and it pulled it up just fine. Not sure why, but you might need a computer or something to pull that up. So a couple reasons as to why I ended up going with this, just because of some of the comments that were made and the research I did. So I went with the Reptilia. A lot of comments out there were saying, do the American Defense Manufacturing, Midwest Industries mounts. I looked at those. They are good. Obviously, they're very reputable brands. I ended up going with this one just because I like just kind of that slimmer look to it, a little bit of the look. But this one also is machined out of 75 aluminum. The American Defense and the Midwest Industries are made out of 6061, machined out of that aluminum. So this is technically a stronger. Geissele, however, I think it's Geissele. They make theirs also out of the 7071 aluminum as well. So you're getting a more stronger, more durable mount, technically, when you argue that way, especially if you're going with like a very cut down style mount, where the American Defense and Midwest Industries is more of a kind of a girthy, almost like a brick looking mount. This is going to use a T25 or a flathead, but the reason that we went with that, so did some looking, right? This is the mount that comes with it. And you can see right here, I only have the one bolt that comes through there, right? There is no recoil lug to this. You're getting the one mounting screw in there, and that's what's holding your red dot to the rail of your firearm. So the downside to that is if you take your red dot off, do some work on the firearm, put this back on, you're more than likely going to have to do a little bit of re-zeroing. With the recoil lug, right here, as you can see, that's machined in there. Not only am I getting a stronger bolt coming through, but with that recoil lug, that is going to help with re-zeroing or return to zero if I'm removing the red dot or not, but also maintaining zero throughout thousands of rounds of shooting. So, again, based on some comments, recommendations, that's what kind of led me to deciding to get a different mount than what I was running for the rifle I was putting it on. I am going to go ahead and mount this up and kind of go over some of the details there. with the mounting, and we'll be right back. All right, so really quick here, guys. I just wanted to show you. So this one on the left is the screw that they send with for mounting the dot on. This is the one that comes original with the HoloSun what is it, HS403R. So just interesting. I find that it's literally half the length. I am going to use the one that they send with because that's obviously what they're recommending, what they're supplying. I'm going to assume that this is probably made out of a stronger steel that they're using for the machining as compared to what HoloSun would have had prepared for their red dot. But I just find that interesting that that's how short that sucker is that's going to hold that red dot to that mount. But again, just pointing that out. All right, guys, so there she is all mounted up. Okay, a couple things with the mounting of this, right? I showed you those screws that are itty bitty, come with it. Some I find interesting. With once you go and look up the manual, depending on what you do, right, there's no torque setting that they have or recommend for these screws on the bottom. It takes a very small Allen wrench. I'm not sure exactly what size. I'd have to double check, but so there's no torque setting. Plus, if there was a torque setting, there's no way to access it because you gotta use a long Allen wrench to get through, which is odd because based on the machining there, they could have machined that hole a little bigger. That would have allowed you to fit, you'd need a longer bit, but you could have fit a longer bit through there to torque that if there was a torque spec for it. So I just initially torqued from here until it was snug because, again, there's no torque setting. I did do blue Loctite on there just for that extra reassurance. They have a 45 inch-pound torque recommendation on the mount here or on that screw. So as far as locking that up, it gives you an idea on what you're expecting there. But again, there's nothing on these small ones on the bottom. You're just taking your Allen key and spinning that as snug as you can. Obviously, just you don't want to overdo it and strip something. But so just a couple observations. That would be my one recommendation if they could give us a torque value on that, just so that we're consistent across all of our mounting screws. That's the one upside to a torque value, is you get a consistent, even torque on every screw as compared to it feels snug. And then again, if they just machine that out a little bigger, that would give us the ability to do that. So again, personal opinion, thoughts, but there's no torque value, no torque recommendation. They just say snug her up, mount it to the gun at 45 inch-pounds, you're good to go. So other than that, I am excited about it. I guess I'll just have to do some shooting with it going forward, see how well she holds and maintains zero. But overall, I am excited about this. Oh, and then before I forget, another reason I went with this mount in particular is it was, when you looked at the height, the closest that we got to this. Just because of running that Juliet Micro behind this, I want to, try to minimize any, having to shim or something to get them to match up. And so this is a lower 1/3 is what this mount is, because that's closer to what this guy is. What's interesting is that the height of this, if you watch the other video, this is a 1.61 is what they call this for height. And then this, they call it a 1.55. So I don't know. It's kind of like pants, why can't we just use the same rule of measurement or the same ruler? I don't know. But anywho, that's my overall take. I guess as of right now, I would recommend it. It seems really solid, well machined. I'm excited about using it. So we'll see how she does going forward. Thanks, guys.